Rated E.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Musa here again with another episode of Pick6 podcast. I got my guy Pace on mic here. How's everyone doing today?
Doing good. How about you guys?
What's going on, everybody?
Doing good, man. We got a lot to talk about. Also, we didn't have a Sunday episode. You know, we had some technical difficulties and stuff like that. But we're back today, and we'll be back this weekend as well for another football episode. Real quick, man, we're gonna get right into it. This episode's gonna be a little different. We're gonna talk a little bit some of NFL from Week 15, and of course, we're gonna get into the college football. We got the awards that was given. We also have the final bowl games.
Somebody
to that
gotta
nature.
go on mute.
Like, I already gave my predictions. I don't know why the fuck was that.
Anyway, but yeah, we got some transfer portal news we're gonna talk about. We got a lot to go get into and dive into. First, because we got my Peso here, we're gonna get into some of these transfer portals names that's been mentioned. First things first, we're gonna get into the quarterbacks. I'm gonna pull up my screen in just a moment. First and foremost, we realize Bill O'Brien is coaching Boston College, and our recent quarterback transferred out, but that's okay. We got another quarterback coming in, and I'm gonna share the screen now. I want to get you guys' thoughts. We just landed Dylan Lonergang, if I pronounce your name wrong, my apologies, from Alabama. And now he's going to be an Eagle. I'm going to zoom. Can you guys see that, or is it too small?
I can see it.
I just want to make sure. All right, man. We might not know too much about him because he obviously wasn't starting this year, Alabama. He was behind Jalen Milroe. But I just want to hear you guys' thoughts about the transfer commit and what you guys see for the future for Boston College with Bill O'Brien as the head coach.
One thing is with Castellanos there, I know he ended up, they had a hot start, but not so much towards the end of the year. I know O'Brien had good luck in Houston with Deshaun Watson, but even then he wasn't the most mobile running quarterback, and I don't think O'Brien's offense is best suited for mobile quarterbacks specifically. It's more the pocket passer, so I don't know much about this kid, but assuming he's probably fits that play style, that'll be a good fit for Boston College. And I'm sure if he was in Alabama already, I'm sure he'll be an upgrade over anything they had or could have gotten.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he's a good deal. I don't know too much about him. I mean, he is an Alabama quarterback. Do we know if he was like second string, third string behind Milroe? Anything? I don't really know the name too much, but I mean, hopefully he do good things in BC. I agree with Mike that offense, Bill O'Brien's offense, especially coming from coaching New England recently, coaching in the NFL. I don't really see him being able to coach a mobile quarterback, especially what we've seen from Castellanos, whatever his name is. I'm shout out to him though. I mean, I'm not surprised he went to Florida State. That's where he's from. I believe he went to school in Georgia though. But yeah, I mean, hopefully he do good things. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, we'll see for the Eagles because they had a hot start this year. What were they, about 4-0, and then they fell off a cliff. What did they finish? I believe 6-6.
They was 4-1. They lost their first game to Missouri. I think when they was at a 2-0 start because they beat Florida State. But they lost to Missouri by 2 points, I believe. It was like 6 points under, something like that.
Yeah.
Yes, it was at Missouri, by the way. But he's a true freshman this year, so he might have another year eligibility, a full 4 years of eligibility because he didn't play last year. He is definitely the second string, I believe, behind Jalen Milrow. Um, 6'2", so decent size. I don't know much about him, so I'm gonna definitely do some of my homework on him and see what tape I can pull up. Regarding him going into Bama, because he, like I said, he didn't play much this year. Um, I'm excited to see what the Eagles are gonna do now that they're gonna have a full off season to prep the team. How kind of how Bill O'Brien sees this team to be. Are they gonna be a legit threat in the ACC? Uh, I think they'll be in the
They
middle of the.
do. They do got Bradley coming back. Jared Bradley, I believe, the wide receiver. I know Robichaux, the running back over there, is gone. He's graduating this year. I'm not too sure if he's declaring for the NFL. But they do got a good backup over there, and a lot of their defensive pieces are coming back next year. So
Yeah, I'm excited to see what our Eagles is going to do, Peso. Even though you're a bulldog at heart, but it's all good. Um, I believe they'll be middle of the pack. I have to pull up their schedule, see what because the schedules I believe is already released for next season. So I got to see, what the strength of schedule is going to be. I think he might be okay, but I'm not expecting best quarterback in the country to talk, so top 10 or anything like that. It would be nice to build around him if he's good and he shows flashes because, like I said, I believe he'll have his full 4 years of eligibility, so he's going to come in as a true freshman essentially. So I'm excited to see what they do with him.
Don't worry
We have
about
a we
Bill
have another one
Belichick.
we're gonna get into. Mike, we're gonna talk about South Carolina. They just got Gabriel Brownlow Dindy from Texas A&M, the D lineman. I think this is a great pickup for them, considering them being an SEC, and you don't need those guys. You don't need those guys in the trenches to battle. So I love to hear you guys' thoughts on this commit.
No, I think South Carolina, if they do the right stuff in the portal and recruiting, they should be top of the SEC, in the top tier, like not at the very top, but they should be able to make a playoff push. They almost got in this year. They were red hot towards the end when Sellers got better. He's I believe his second year. I don't know if they got him as a freshman, but he's 19 regardless. Second year, he showed uh, amazing progression as the year go on. Very mobile quarterback, strong arm, tall dude. So I'm definitely curious to see what South Carolina does next year for sure.
yeah, I'm not really. I don't really have too much to say on this. I'm not familiar with the guy. I'm not really. I watched South Carolina a little bit. I didn't really hone in too much of their on their defense this year. Was more focused on the freshman quarterback that they had. But I mean, hopefully he's a good piece for them.
Absolutely. We all know when it comes to the SEC, you need that the trenches to be strong because you're going to deal with the Georgias, the Bama's of the world with the front four, with the D line and the offensive line. So I think this would be a great pickup to kind of bolster their defensive line. Real quick on Gabriel. Let me bring Mike up real quick. Perfect. So real quickly on Gabriel, he's a sophomore, 6'3". I think he had one tackle against USC, but he didn't play much this year. So
Did he get
I
hurt or
don't think he's going
something?
to be a starter off the bat. But I believe that he could be someone that can be a nice rotation piece for that South Carolina team. So happy for them. Hopefully he can shine in that system. Next, we got Oklahoma's Nick Anderson going to LSU. And I will say LSU has been making some big moves in the transfer portal so far. They have one of the top two, if not the top class coming into next season as far as signings and transfers. And this one right here is another big name coming over there. So I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on Nick Anderson going to the Bay and LSU.
And yeah, I think it's good that he might be able to finally have a quarterback that can get him the ball. I can't believe Auburn's going to actually take that kid Jackson Arnold. So we'll see. I don't know what their quarterback situation is going to be at LSU coming up. I believe Nussmeier is going to be going into the NFL draft, but they're gonna need to improve a lot because I know they're losing the quarterback. I know Kelly. It sounded like he lost the team towards the end of the year, so they're gonna definitely have to be active in the portal. I know you said that they've got a lot of guys already, but we'll see how it shakes out. LSU is notorious for losing that week one premier game. They've done it like each of the past 3-4 years now, and they can't do that next year because I'll put them in a hole right off the bat.
Yeah, it's another guy I'm
Sure.
not too familiar with, but one thing I know with LSU is that they know how to vet receivers.
That's
So
true.
Yeah, so real quick, his 2023 stats, he put up 38 catches for almost 800 yards, 10 touchdowns. He's a sophomore, 6'4", big body receiver. Um, and in college with the spread offenses, you got to have those big body receivers. I think he's going to fit well in LSU. Will he be the next good or great wide receiver to come out of LSU? That's yet to be seen. But we do know the kid can ball. Like Mike said, LSU is going to be great for him because they got a quarterback now that can throw him the ball. So I love this addition for LSU as well as the other additions they do have so far. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I think LSU will be back in the picture come next season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
we
put
talk
those
about Gabe.
stats
We're
up
gonna
with
go
that
backwards a little
quarterback that he.
bit.
Good for him.
Yeah, I think I believe he becomes 1,000-yard receiver
Oh, definitely.
next
If he was
season
just doing that with Arnold, for
in
sure, he
LSU for
could
sure.
definitely be. Yeah.
And I think he probably triples his reps because he caught, like I said, he caught 38 balls, pause, for 798 yards. I think he goes to probably 70, about 80, 70 to 80, depending on the play style. But I definitely can see him getting at least 1,000 yards.
Is
Next,
Lacey going to be back
yeah.
next year? For LSU.
One more
Is he
time.
gonna go, is Lacey going into the draft? Or is he going to be back for LSU next
I
year?
haven't heard any word on Lacey going into the draft, but I could definitely look into that.
Yeah. No, I was just curious because that would be a nice 1-2 punch if Lacey is still going to be on the team next year.
But real quick, we're gonna get into Kelby Collins. He is now Alabama Roll Tide. He's leaving Florida to go over there. I love this pickup for Bama. Keeps them relevant, which they're never going to be out of relevancy for the foreseeable time. But Mike, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this pickup.
Yeah, Bama needs all the help they can get because it seems like every day I see someone transferring out of Alabama, whether they be guys who were playing or guys that are slated to play in the upcoming years. So between all the guys that transferred out when Saban retired and what we're seeing this year, they need to get all the help they can get through the portal and recruiting. So any addition for them is not a bad addition at this point.
Absolutely. He is an Alabama boy. He's from Gardendale, Alabama. Sophomore, 6'4", big body edge. To his 2023 stats, he had 23 total tackles, 1.5 sacks for forced fumble. And last year he had 6 total tackles, and no sacks. So I think he's just be another big body to help shore up that front line, to help get to the quarterback and play into the strengths of what Alabama's defense is, whether it's going to be the back end, the middle, or the front. They're always good at their defense. Defense has been hit or miss at times, but for the most part, we always know Alabama to have a great defense and have receivers and backs. So they have almost everything but the quarterback. As of late, of course, you had Bryce, Hurts, Tua, and those guys. But prior to that, there was no one really. They probably light up in college, but it didn't translate. So
AJ McCarron.
yeah, it's another one right there. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next guy real quick.
Noise, fellas?
No, you're good now.
You good now? You good now, Clips? Next one, we talked a little bit about Liberty throughout the show in the past, but I'm curious to hear Mike on this because now Colorado gets what seems to be a possible backup quarterback or potentially their starting quarterback in Caden Salter. He's leaving Liberty. He's going over to the Boulder with Prime. And I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on whether or not he will start. Because obviously they got the 5-star quarterback coming in this season, the freshman. Do you think Dion will start the freshman or will Salters get the start?
I have him battle for it.
Yeah.
I think that's what Dion's going to be doing.
Game.
I agree.
Was it the spring game? Like whenever they have that, you can see how they look. But we often see these top recruits. Very few of them start as a true freshman, if any. So this kid will probably be starter going to Colorado next year. But look at how Dion can attract so many players to Colorado. Are we sure this is the only quarterback that's going to transfer over there? He could be second string, and the true freshman could just be learning. I think with all the recruits, if there's not a major step up in class in the Big 12 next year, I honestly think Colorado could go undefeated. I know Prime's game management struggles at points, but I think with the talent that he's been able to recruit and that they'll have coming up this year, I think they'll probably be able to overcome it based on how the Big 12 looked this year.
Big words coming from Mike in Colorado. Okay.
But one thing you gotta watch out for.
Colorado, bro, he just don't like Shedeur.
It's not that I don't like him. I just think he's overrated. But one thing you got to remember, too, is I know Dion says he's happy there right now, but are we sure he's going to stay there still?
I think so. But real quick, I want to read you guys' the stats on Caden. A little bit more of a down year last season. He 56 completion percentage, just under 1,900 yards, 15 touchdowns, 6 picks. His best season, he's a junior. His best season was 2023, where he was 61%, 2,876 yards, 32 touchdowns, 6 picks. So I think he can help. I haven't watched much tape on him or watched much Liberty games, but I agree with Clips. I think knowing Dion and what he is built and what he's about, he's going to make you guys play for it. Practice is everything. Because most coaches, and like Dion practice, how you practice is how you're going to play. So if you're going to practice shitty, why am I going to put you on the field and get shitty production? So, excuse my language, but that's just how I see it.
Truth.
And I think they're going to battle for that position. Nothing's going to be given in Colorado. Everything's going to be earned. So, and I'm going to stop sharing for the moment real quick. And now we're going to get right into a little bit of the NFL from last week, because since we didn't have the show on Sunday. I'm going to pull up the current playoff bracket if it was to start this week for the NFL. And those who, my dear college football fans, don't worry. This is just for the moment. We will not be on NFL much long on the show. Oh, we got another guest here. He ain't a guest, but Ty's in the building.
What up? What
That's
up?
the Monday Night Raw himself.
It was a vacation.
It was cool. It was cool. My phone broke, so I lost all my photos, everything. That was the only bad part.
Phone broke on the vacay, man.
Yeah, can't have one day of relaxation in life, right?
But I'm gonna pull up the NFL playoff bracket if it was to start this weekend. Make sure that looks good. For those watching, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, man. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Thank you guys for supporting. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we're gonna give you guys some more dope content. So, and let me know if this is too small. I can zoom in on it a little bit more. But as you guys can see, the Lions and the Chiefs will have the number 1 seed, therefore they'll have the bye weeks. We then have the Bills at number 2 versus the Chargers at Buffalo. We got the Eagles at home versus the Commanders. Bucks at home versus the Packers. The Rams get a home game against the Vikings. Texans versus the Ravens. Texans are home, of course. Steelers at a home game against Denver. And, of course, the teams in the hunt, we got the Colts, Dolphins, Bengals in the AFC, and we got the Seahawks, Falcons, Cardinals in the NFC. Fellas, I want to hear you guys' thoughts on these potential matchups and whether or not will these number one seeds be the same come playoff time. Because it's getting a little dicey now, especially in the NFC.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs will definitely be the number one seed in the AFC, but the NFC, I feel like it's happening to the Dolphins last year, is happening to the Lions this year with the injuries. They had the number one seed at the grasp last year and barely made it into the playoffs. I don't think it's going to be that drastic for the Lions, but that division they play in is tough, and I think you could definitely see them slide down to this, be easily the 5th or 6th seed.
Ty, Clips, what's your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with Mike. In the NFC, Detroit is having that last game against Minnesota. I think as long as Minnesota plays how they've been playing, they can easily sneak into the 1 seed or maybe even the 2 seed, depending on what goes on with the Eagles. Washington can't beat the Eagles. Yeah, they're pretty much locking up the 1 seed because I do think Detroit will drop a game. Pretty much on the AFC, the thing with Kansas City, especially with the Mahomes ankle sprain, whatever they want to call it, they pretty much got it locked up. I do think the one thing I like on the AFC is that Baltimore does have a chance to move from that 5th seed to that 3rd seed. But the problem with it is I kind of rather see them head to Houston. I think that's an easier matchup than having Denver come in, especially with that defense. And we know how defenses play during playoff time. But the one thing I love is that the Bengals do have a chance to get in, especially how the Chargers played recently. I think the Bengals won't get in. I think they'll slip up. Then we're going to be looking at probably 5 minutes of single plays that we've seen in key losses from the Bengals. And we're just going to be like, yep, all those things could have been avoided. But these teams are pretty much, every team you see, I think pretty much is locked in.
Clips?
So, right, hear me out. I agree with Mike. I really kind of feel like Kansas City might slip. I just depending on the Mahomes situation, they're gonna have to I don't know how serious it is, but I really feel like Kansas City might slip out of that 1st seed. They might be 2nd, maybe 3rd, but the
In order for them to slip to 3rd, they will have to lose at least the
They'll have to
rest of
lose
the
out.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mahomes is a full participant both days in practice, too, by the way. I just want to put that out there.
But do we know how serious the injury is and how he's gonna play with it?
They said, based off of when it happened against Jacksonville there in the playoffs, they said it's not as bad as this, and he has more mobility, and it's not as bad. So I personally don't think it's as big a deal as people are making it out to be, because he's been battling this injury all year. It just got worse this Sunday.
It's always those one injuries that they say it's not that serious. But I don't see Detroit slipping, to be honest. I think Detroit finishes out with the 1st seed. I like these matchups. I'm not gonna lie. If these were to be a playoff matchup, I think the best game is gonna be Houston and Baltimore. But I would have Baltimore in that game.
Okay. Before we dive into the who we think will win, real quick, I'm just gonna play some devil's advocate. But before I do that, I think the Lions lose the 1 seed. Right now it's a three-way tie between Philly, Detroit, and Minnesota. And with Montgomery being out for the remainder of the season, I think they take a hit a little bit in the run game because now you're gonna have to bulk up the load of Jahmyr Gibbs. Would not say he can't handle it, but I think now teams can scheme a little bit better. But with that, and Sam and those guys, Tim Patrick's, they're gonna have to step up, of course, and be probably more pass heavy than what the Lions really want to do. And I honestly think the Vikings might still that 1 seed, like Ty said. But I also heard recent past that the Vikings are frauds. So
Yep, I said that.
I don't know. We'll see.
I mean,
AFC.
Minnesota might
Go
get
ahead,
the
Ty.
1 seed, depending on what the Eagles do. I believe that if Eagles and them both win out, I think the Eagles might have that tiebreaker. So they would need to win out, obviously beat Detroit, and have the Eagles at least lose one game, I think, to get that 1 seed.
Sure. The AFC side, real quick, I think the Chiefs hold on. I just think the gap is too big. They got 2 games above Buffalo, despite them losing to Buffalo. I don't see the Chiefs losing out. I see them probably losing 1 game out of the next remaining games at the most. So I think they keep the number 1 seed. What's interesting to me is that 2 through 5 range, like I believe the Baltimore Ravens could sneak up and get the 3rd seed, like Ty said, but I do agree to a certain extent about the matchup with Denver. And the only reason why is not because of Denver's defense, it's more so because of Baltimore's. With Baltimore's defense being so hot and cold, I can see they can probably make Bo Nix look like the next coming of whoever great quarterback you want to throw out there. And that's my fear with that matchup. More so Baltimore's defense opposed to Denver's. Based on these seedings, I feel like the best matchups out of these will come out the NFC. I think the Rams Vikings game will be a great game. I think it might be in the mid-20s. And I think we get a shootout between Tampa and Green Bay. I think that's probably the best game out of all these. My next runner-up for that will probably be Buffalo and the Chargers. Just because the Chargers offense can get up and down the field, the problem is they can't put up points. But the Bills defense been giving so much points. I think the Chargers can have an outlier of a game when it comes to putting up points on the board. The problem also, though, I can see with that backfiring, it's Buffalo and it's the wintertime. And for all I know is you ain't gonna come from the West Coast and come over here playing some snow or below 10-degree weather and think you're gonna be able to take them hits come 4th quarter. So with that, I can see why most people won't pick that game as a potential big game. But real quick, we won't spend much time on because we're gonna get back into college football. I just want to go down. I'm gonna start with myself from the top down. If I had to choose between the Bills and the Chargers, who will win? I'll go Bills. Mike, who you got?
Oh, definitely the Bills. I don't think we'd be even close, but I'm not sold that the Chargers are going to get in the playoffs. I can definitely see the Colts, as long as they get past the Titans this week, taking that 7 seed.
Okay. Clips, Chargers or Bills?
I'm going with the Bills.
Ty.
Bills.
Perfect. Steelers. Tom, we're gonna start with you. We're gonna go bottom up. Steelers or Broncos?
I would. If George Pickens is playing, I'm going with the Steelers. But for right now, I might give the Broncos that upset. Honestly.
Clips.
I'm trusting in Mike Tomlin. I'm going to Steelers.
Mike.
I got the Steelers. Other than the Chiefs, I think they're the only ones who could possibly win a Super Bowl in the AFC right now.
I'm also going Steelers. I trust the coach and the quarterback. That's kind of where I'm at with that. Ravens, Texans. I'm gonna go right to Mike because y'all know who I'm picking. Trues. I got Ravens. Yeah, I'm not picking against them.
I'm with Musa. I'm not so high on the Ravens like a lot of people are, but the Texans' offense is just it's not good. The defense is elite, but I think Baltimore would handle them easily.
I know, Clips. You torn with this matchup.
I really don't want to say the Ravens, but I'm gonna like politically, yes, the Ravens will probably win
I
out
go
this.
what you got, Clips. Who you want? Who you think win this game?
You already know I'm going CJ. I'm biased. That's clear. I'm going
There you have it.
You gotta
Stroud.
have them throw the ball. They're just
Hey,
running it.
hey, he'll find his rhythm. We'll see. Playoff time players like certain players just play better. You never know.
There we have it. Ty, who you got? Texans
I
or
got
Ravens?
I got the Ravens.
Good. I'm gonna start with you. What's your favorite game if this was to be? Vikings or Rams?
Rams already beat them, so they'll beat them again.
I disagree. Clips, who you got?
I'm going Vikings. I just feel like Jay Jettas is just he's him, and then you got Addison over there. So yeah, I'm going. I just like that combo against the secondary. I'm going Vikings.
Mike.
Yeah, I think this is by far the best game of the first round games. I think the Vikings are frauds. You just look at the way they had offenses built around Sam Darnold. Once they play some high competition, it's going to get exposed in the playoffs. And I think I know everyone talks about Justin Jefferson, but I think Addison's been with Justin Jefferson getting certain coverages, he's been the kickstart for that offense and getting it going. But I got the Rams. I think the Rams knocked them out first round. Don't sleep on Sean McVay for Coach of the Year if O'Connell slips in these last few games.
And I was actually trolling. I want to pick the Vikings, but I actually gonna go Rams. And the reason being is gonna come down to quarterback play. And I think Stafford gets it done. I love Sam Darnold, what he's been able to do this season. But when the lights are the brightest, Stafford shows out. And I like Brian Flores in his defense, and they got a great defense over there. But Puka can make space in the phone booth. Like, and some of these new kids nowadays, I understand. I ain't that old, but a lot of you guys don't know what phone booths are. But the point is, I think Puka is gonna always be open, and I don't see Cooper Kupp having another game where he doesn't get a catch. I think they win the game. I think they win by 3. Bucks and Packers. I'm gonna go Packers, of course. I had them coming out the NFC, so I got to be consistent. I got Packers winning that game. I think it's a shootout, but I got the Packers.
For me, it depends on if Godwin's healthy. Because supposedly, I know the rumors about him coming back. I don't know. I haven't heard an update on that recently, but I'm going to go with Packers just based on that Tampa Bay defense. It's not looking good. So if they don't have Godwin in that, I got to go Packers.
Clips.
Yeah, I'm going Packers.
Same.
Perfect. And then last game, Ty, we got Eagles and Commanders.
I'll go Eagles.
Clips.
I'm going Commanders.
Yeah. Mike.
I know I said previously the Commanders are the superior team to the Eagles. Unfortunately, I don't believe that anymore. I think the Eagles will beat them, and I'm not. It's depending on if Geno's hurt and how Penix. Well, not Penix, because I don't think Falcons will get the wild card anyway. But seeing if he's not hurt, I could honestly see them falling out of that wild card picture. Unfortunately.
This is tough for me because they're gonna play one more time prior to the playoffs. And it's like I want to pick the Eagles, but if the Eagles beats the Commanders again before the playoffs, I don't see them beating the Commanders 3 times. And it's vice versa. So I'm gonna lean Eagles for right now. I think the home game. I think the experience is gonna be the key factor. But I wouldn't be surprised if they get upset and lose to the Commanders. Because like I've been saying all year, and like I've been saying before we started this podcast, Scary Terry's top 10. And he finally got a quarterback to prove why he's top 10. I don't care where you put him in the 10, as long as he's in the 10. That's all that matters to me. I ain't gonna go over that line, say he top 5 and top 3. I ain't finna do all of that. Just know he in the top 10. So, but I'm gonna lean Eagles. All right, that's gonna be it for the football, for NFL at least. We're gonna get back into some college football. About to stop sharing now. For the moment, bring up my guy Peso. I believe he's backstage, ready to go. Let me see. Yep, there he is. Onto the stage. There we go. We got the starting 5. I don't remember the last time we had 5 on here for the football, man. I'm loving it right now. We out here look like the 04 Pistons. That's right, defense win championships. Look like 2000 Ravens, whoever you want to name. But we're gonna get into these awards. The topic of the show was season for the ages, of course, and rightfully so, given what we was able to witness this season with Travis Hunter taking home the Heisman. But not only he took home the Heisman, he took home a plethora of other awards, even though he was snubbed of the Jim Thorpe Award. But that's okay. He got the real prize, what he wanted, and that was the Heisman. Sean Genty became the runner-up, unfortunately, but it's okay. The right person won it, I believe, in my eyes, although I really wanted Genty to win it. But Travis becomes the second player to win the Heisman that plays both sides of the ball, along with Charles Woodson as the only other player to do so. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on Travis taking home the Heisman. Is this season going to come down as one of the best seasons in college football history? And if so, I'm putting y'all on the spot, including myself. If so, where would you rank it? Would it be top 5, top 10, wherever? So first, we could talk about just him winning the award itself.
I mean, I think he deserved it. We all talked about it from a couple weeks ago on him winning it. One thing I wanted to point out, I think they need to boil down the Heisman to like 2 people because, I mean, we all know Cam Ward. Yeah, he had the numbers, but we knew Travis was winning because of the stats and the media hype. Same thing with Dylan Gabriel. Yeah, Oregon went undefeated, but you wasn't in competition with Genty and Hunter for the Heisman. So I know, like, in recent years, it's been a little bit closer in some situations, but, I mean, this was a 2-man race kind of like since the season started. Really after that Oregon game for Gentry, for sure. I mean,
I don't know
you
about
could
2-man. Cam Ward, when they was going on that run, was really in them talks. I don't know if it was a 2-man race.
He was betting in favor until they lost.
He lost me mid-season against Duke in California. And it wasn't his fault. I'm not blaming him, but, you know, they tie all of that into the Heisman. But Travis Hunter did deserve it. I mean, I know this ain't really got nothing to do with it, but it do. But, you know, all this talk about him and his girl and that whole situation going on, man. I just hope that dude's just, you know, just going to focus on his game, focus on his career. I hope the way he's defending that relationship in that situation, I hope that it works out for him. I hope that, you know, he does his thing. I hope it doesn't lead to a distraction. But, you know, got to slow your roll, buddy. You finna run into a lot of things in the NFL. So, but
hey man, let's stick to football talk. I ain't here talking about no love life. That's his business.
You know, it's a fact. It's a fact, though. You know what I'm saying? It's just it was a lot of things going on around there. I just hope he focuses on his game. It was a well-deserved award that he won. I just hope he continues to focus on his game.
You better hope Santa Claus don't show up on Christmas.
I mean, I hope it works out. I hope it works out.
Let's reel it back in, fellas. Clips tie.
This is the sports podcast and entertainment. We gotta talk about it sometimes, man. But nah, go ahead.
Nah, I mean, we knew he was gonna get it. Yeah, we knew Hunter was gonna win the Heisman. Um, but I just wanted to like, you know, let's look at Gentsy's season, because he does deserve the praise. So honestly, I would have done Cole Heisman, honestly, at that point. Because he
I was thinking about that too.
Gentry still had an amazing season. Um, Travis' season, it was a good season. But it solely depended on him playing both sides of the ball. At the
My
end of the
my
day.
my, my bad, Todd. Did Gentry win any award? Like what? Best running back of the year?
I don't even know if he won that. I ain't
Yeah,
gonna
he won
lie.
that.
Jeez.
So
Also,
so
real
yeah.
quick. No, I'm gonna wait. Let Ty and Clips get their stuff off, and then I gotta talk about this because I just thought about something.
But yeah, I don't think they should make Heisman two separate winners. Um, because honestly, at the end of the day, it's a quarterback award. Um, it's just because the media and everybody doesn't like any college quarterback as of now. But I do think that's going to change next year. You're going to see a lot of quarterbacks take up that top 5 spot. Um, Whereas this year it was kind of open, but not really at the same time. I think it was a two-man race, definitely. Um, yeah, like Mike said, after Miami lost. Yeah.
Who helped him get that award, Mike?
Clips. Oh, no.
Who helped him get that award,
Let
Mike?
Clips get his thing on real quick. We're gonna get to that. Trust me. Even though that's not what I was trying to go to. I got something else to talk about. We're gonna get to pizza. Don't worry.
Realistically, like I said before, I feel like shout out to Gentry. He had a career season that any other running back in lifetime that would want to have. But I already told you that award was going to Hunter. I already seen it coming. I knew it was gonna happen. I'm happy he got the award, because just the hype around his name, some of the hate, the backlash. There's a whole lot of that tie into it. And he was doing this even at when he played at the HBCU. So, like, I'm happy that
Jackson State.
Yeah, I'm happy that a player of his caliber is getting the recognition and he's getting, you know what I mean? He's getting the praise. He deserved it. He worked hard for it. He showed over and over and plays why he's that guy. Don't get me wrong. Gentry, again, had a season that a lot of other running backs would pray to have. You get what I'm saying? Like, them stats and what he did, it does not go unnoticed. How he played, how he ran that ball is not going unnoticed. So shout out to him. I think, like, I agree, it was a 2-man race, but I will say in the upcoming years, like the seasons coming up, it's not gonna be like that because again, I feel like we're gonna get back to like stats and how people play. Again, this Heisman to me was kind of like media pushed a lot. Like media played a heavy factor if you get what I'm saying. So, um, I feel like next Heisman and upcoming years, we're gonna get to see a lot more of like people have to divulge into people's stats, and it's gonna be a lot more debatable. If that makes sense.
They have that award. They have another award, correct? That's supposed to be like the best player in the country. That's not the Heisman. Hunter won it, I believe. Right?
I believe so. I'm looking for it now. I do have the awards list pulled up. I don't see that
it's
award yet.
I think it's a Player of the Year award, but I might be wrong.
Because the one thing I'm curious about is what are the voting criteria for these awards? Because I've looked online for a few of them for college, and you can't find what the criteria is, and I'd love to know it because a lot of these just don't match up. Because even for the Heisman, I haven't looked this one up specifically, but some of the other ones I did for the Heisman, if it's based on stats, you got to go Genty. But if it's not based on stats and it's based on importance to team, you got to go Hunter. If it's not based on competition, you got to go Hunter. So I'm just curious what the voting criteria is with some of these, because some of these college awards, you can't find anything on them.
But
I
Mike,
will
you
say
know this,
Hunter did
you know
have
this
both
across
though.
all sports, bro. Across all sports, majority of these votes be all media, man.
Yeah, I agree. That's why they should make the criteria better so you can really say, hey, what the hell are you guys doing by voting this?
I will say Travis had both. He had media, of course, with his personality and how he is off the field, but his stats proved it too. Being the play at the elite level he did on the receiver side of the ball and defensively as the corner, I think he deserved it. I do think throughout the season there was at least a 3-man race between him, Genty, and Ward. Shador was creeping in if you extend it to like 5 or 6 range, but as the season waned on, it really became those three, especially once Miami did lose. Then it really was just Genty and Travis to win. I think he deserved all the awards he won. The only award I had pushback on, and we said in the private chat, was the wide receiver award. I think that should have been Nick Nash's to win, considering that at this point he's the Triple Crown. But outside of that, I believe he deserved everything else he got. And like I said, he was snubbed out of the Jim Thorpe Award. But I believe he took home at least 6 or 7 awards total, which I don't remember seeing a player do in a long time, if at all. So that's why I posed the question, is this one of the best seasons we've ever seen out of a college player ever? But before we dive into that, Peso has some things he wanted to get off against Mike. I also had to ask you guys, Mike and Clips and Ty specifically, because Mike, we had this conversation, and Peso, you could chime in. I don't think you mentioned any. You didn't say anything when I asked in the private chat. And for those watching, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Mike told me that Scatterbolt, it was a lot closer than we realized to Genty. I don't think it was close this season. I think it's a gap. But I want to hear you guys' thoughts, Clips, Ty, and Peso on this. Is it closer than we think when it comes to comparing Scatterbolt and Genty this season, or is there a gap?
I mean, I'm a big fan of Scatterbolt. I've just put it simple as this: you put him in the MAC conference, and I do think if you swap Genty over into the Big 12, I think it would still be the same.
Mountain West.
Yeah, my bad, Mountain West. I still think it would be the same measures on both sides. I just think Scatterbolt would have had a little bit more leniency over there in the Mountain West, just because of the competition.
I never said he was better. I just want to clarify that too.
Oh no! Yeah, that's why I made sure I said it was closer than people think, opposed to saying better. I just want to make. I got you, Mike. Don't worry. I ain't gonna put you out there and make you looking crazy now.
I'm a huge fan of
myself.
Scatterbolt too. Don't sleep. I mean, I ain't saying y'all sleeping, but the viewers out there, don't sleep on Scatterbolt. I mean, tune into Arizona State when they play in about 2 more weeks, beginning of January or something like that. Definitely tune into him. He's a versatile running back. Shit, that's milk chocolate right there, baby.
Hey yo, this man called him
we
a
ain't gonna
Milky
take
Way
it.
on live YouTube.
We ain't gonna take it that far. Y'all know what the hell I mean. Come on now.
Hey yo,
Clean your ears. Get the wax out your ears.
Clips,
That dude's nasty, bro. That dude's nasty.
To be honest, Scatterbolt, fire running back, dual threat. He could catch the ball and he could run the ball. But I'm disagreeing. That gap is not close, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's not close, bro. Gentry.
I mean, when you're dealing with an Arizona State team that likes to throw the ball a whole goddamn lot, I mean, all Boise State did all this year was run ball.
And almost 100
You sure?
carries. It's like 80 carries.
Majority of the time.
Okay, I like that term. I like that terminology better. Majority, because then I said, the guy that
average over 30 carries a game, or just about 30 carries a game.
No. I agree. They ran the ball most of the time, but I just because, like I said, I heard a guy that was better than Shador from Mike. That
stronger arm and more mobile.
That Mark Maddox. I can't say his name because it fucking pisses me off that he said
named after Greg Maddox.
The fact that you said he was better than Shador makes my skin itch. But
As I said, more mobile, stronger arm. He doesn't
I mean,
have.
he
He's
threw for
short.
He threw for 2,700 yards. 22
He doesn't have a
touchdowns,
stronger
so-
arm than Shador, Mike.
Yes, he does.
No,
Go
you want to
back
talk
and watch.
about
Go back
mobility?
and watch the throw in the match or the Mountain West Championship game, bro. You can see it right there. He has a
We got a
stronger arm.
comment. Shout out to Downcore Miners with the fire emojis. We appreciate you, man. Thank you for the
Yeah,
comment.
we need to light that fire under Mike's ass. The shit that he talking. Like, come on, bro. Yeah, mobility, I'll give you that, but he does not have a stronger arm than Shador, bro.
Yes, he does. I'm telling you. Go back and watch
I will
both
say
of them.
his arm is a little bit stronger than Shador's arm's not that strong. I
Yeah.
will say that. It ain't what might be trying to make it out to be, but it's not the strongest
I
arm.
just said it was stronger. I never said how much.
But my overall take is Maddox being better than him is just wrong in my opinion. Especially because your take when it comes to smaller quarterbacks, he's smaller than Shador, height wise.
Neither one of them are NFL quarterbacks. I'm not going to sit here and say one's better than the other in that regard.
We got another comment. King Zoe, he does not have a stronger arm.
Go back and watch the tape if you think I'm wrong.
Bro,
He does.
Mike, what are you talking about? What game, Mike?
You can go back and watch the throw that he made
Shout out
in
to
the
King
20 degree weather and the
talking
Mountain
about
West
one game, so he
Championship
had- so
game.
he had
You can
some
go back
extra
and
juice.
watch the other games.
He
It's
had
not
some
just
extra
that.
Gatorade
That's
that
just
game.
one
His
that I'm
arm was
telling
feeling
you.
good. You
I
going off
said
of
that-
one play, Mike.
Yeah, but I'd had this take before that game even happened.
I'm about to sit back and relax. I hear debate, bro.
That's your
Hold
personal
on.
opinion, Mike. That's not facts. You base
It
it off
is.
of
You go
one
back and
play.
watch it. You can
Go
go
to
back
Let
and
it time,
watch
fellas.
any of it. Just go watch it when he throws a frozen rope and the other one's just got a little rainbow to it. That's all I'm saying.
Now y'all can argue all y'all want, like I said, about the arm strength.
Is Maddox going to the NFL?
I ain't gonna debate y'all on that. He should do it better.
Well,
better.
the best receiver in the country just took a 5th round talent and made him a top 5 pick, and that has to do with his last name too. And that's me being nice saying a 5th round talent because neither
All
one.
right,
of
see,
the-
here you
neither
go.
one-
See, here you go. See, here you go, Mike. See, why is this even coming up?
No. Hold on. Peso, hold on. I want to make sure we get this on live. So I'm gonna let you get another chance, Mike, to take it back.
No, I'm not
You
taking it
said
back.
what
I mean
now?
it. He's a 5th round talent at best, and that's me being nice. Without the best receiver in the country, you turned him
But
into
see,
a
that's
5th
not
round
fact,
talent
Mike.
in the top
Who's the
5
fifth
along
round
with his
talent?
last name.
Mike, that's not facts, bro.
Who's the 5th round talent again?
Just go look at him, Shador Sanders. Just go look at him. You can laugh
Mike,
all
you need some bifocals, bro.
best.
You telling me Shador's a 5th round draft pick, bro? We're gonna do this again?
No,
this
he's
week?
not gonna be, but that's what his talent level is. His talent and ability is next to none.
All right, we're gonna move on. I want to get back to the Scatterbolt stuff, but real quick, we got another
But
comment.
the quarterback
King
over there at
King Zo, he
Vanderbilt's better
said
than
Mike
him,
done
right?
lost his mind.
All right, talk to me in 5 years, bro. Let's see when he's not in the league anymore.
Why I gotta be 5 years?
Because when are the excuses going to stop for this kid in the NFL? Depending on where he gets drafted, he doesn't belong there. You're gonna if he goes to the Raiders, what you saw Monday night, you're going to be begging for that once you see this kid play in the NFL.
So all
He
those
is not an
quarterbacks that you
NFL
have in front
QB.
of Shador, all those quarterbacks you have in front of Shador right now, about 40, 30 some quarterbacks in front of
No,
Shador, they all belong in the
22 or
NFL.
3. No,
They all belong in
Definitely
the
not.
NFL.
definitely not.
All right, Ty's back. Ty, I want to ask you real quick. Do you think the gap is closer
Mike
between
about to make me
Cam
start smoking.
Scatterbolt and Ashawn Genty?
It's close, but not that close. I would say. But they are both.
Is it Pat Mahomes and everyone else close, or is it more like Josh Allen, Joe Burrow close?
I think it's Josh Allen, Joe Burrow close.
So that's close. Okay, so you basically essentially agree with Mike. All right.
Yeah, because they're both good running backs. But we know how running back style transitions to the NFL. So we can all that matters is who's going to keep it up and who's going to keep up that production, and how they look in the NFL and what team grabs them and uses them.
I don't think it's close as far as this season pertains. Now, how they translate over to NFL, that's different because I'm always big on this, and we're gonna people that's watching, when we start doing our mock drafts, you're gonna realize my takes a little bit more detailed. I'm big on systems and schemes that you go to. So, for example, Genty could have a clear gap like I believe it is now this season, but he might go to a system that don't know how to get him the ball and play up to his strengths, opposed to Scatterbook going somewhere that fits his play style perfect, like a Rams offense. I see him fitting perfect in the Rams offense, personally. Even the Chargers, because he can't catch out the backfield a little bit. So that's kind of what my mindset will be. But as of this season, I don't think it's close. I mean, he gaps them in touchdowns and rushing yards. I know the carries is different, and I know the rushing yards per attempt is different. It's closer, but just off the eye test too, I think Genty's just been the workhorse. Not saying Scatterbo hasn't been either. I will say this: my only fear is when they do both go over to NFL is I wonder if Genty being so high on the carries and having to carry that team so much that he burns out early in the NFL or has only like a season or two because he goes to a team where he's going to constantly just feed him the ball like it was in college. So that's my only fear with him.
I think that'll be the dumbest thing for an organization to do, especially coming right out the gate. Develop his
We've seen
body.
it in the past. It happens. Look at once they realized how good Henry was. Look how they was just feeding him the ball. He's an outlier, of course. He's still playing well, but look at Zeke. Zeke is another one of those players that was elite when he came out, and they kept feeding him the rock, and then over time it just weighed on him. So it can happen. I hope it don't, but we'll see.
To be honest with y'all, and this may be a hot take, I'm just being a homer, but I would really like him in New England. I know we need offensive linemen over there, but I think that's a system that, he'll be splitting the snaps with a couple of different running backs, and I think that'll be pretty solid over there.
Sure, any of the running backs in New England are going to be back next year.
If we
Ramondre Stevenson is not coming back.
He fumbles too much. I like him, but he fumbles a lot. That's why they end up before the injury too. That's why they end up plugging in Gibson as a starting back at one point because of the fumbles. But I wouldn't mind having him. But I'm gonna be honest with you. If we don't take anyone out named Travis Hunter or Will Campbell, we're gonna have problems.
T-Mac?
Who?
T-Mac?
No.
Terry McMillan from Arizona?
I'll take him if Travis ain't there. Sure. If I'm being really honest, because I know I'm going to mention this other name real quick. Banks, the tackle. I think he's out of Texas, if I'm not mistaken. The offensive lineman.
I don't know.
Banks? I must be.
He's in Georgia, maybe.
Georgia. I know it's another tackle. I think he's at Texas, but.
Wait, so you think Travis might not go one?
I believe he will.
Up there.
But that's what I'm saying. If I'm being honest, if Travis is there, take him. But we need O-line help. I don't give a damn if you got T-Mac, Big Mac. It don't matter. If you ain't got no O-line, you can't throw the ball. We've seen this in the Super Bowl with Tampa and Kansas City. What happened to Mahomes? We had no O-line. Because if you gave him at least an O-line, they probably would have beat the Bucs, if we're being honest. So, and I like Drake May. I think Drake May shown flashes. He looked like he could be a serviceable quarterback. We need weapons on the outside, sure, but show up the front so he can get protection. Or else he's gonna be running for his damn life. And then we're gonna be back to square one. Need another quarterback because if anyone knows, New England, and I work with someone who definitely don't have patience when it comes to rebuilds. They don't have patience over here. They got so drunk when it comes to winning, they don't know how to lose. They came to the season, they was gonna be a damn playoff team.
I think everybody
some people really thought the Pats was gonna be a playoff team. The hell were you drinking?
Shifted to the Celtics. I don't think people's worried about New England too much. Not anymore, man.
I'm telling you.
I think Kraft thought
people
they were going to be
we should have won at least 8 games this year. Like, bro, what?
Maybe because I'm not up there no more.
Yeah, I think the organization thought they were going to be a playoff team too. They did last year too.
It don't make sense. But I don't want to dive into that. That's why Because we talk about running backs. Don't get me started on the wide receivers. Please don't. I don't want to talk about that. But we're gonna move on to the main question. Do you guys believe Travis Hunter had one of the best seasons in college football history? I mean, is it top 10 to you guys? It's a top 10 season? Is it top 5? Is it higher than past 10? Like, what do you guys? What would you rank this season for Travis? Obviously, he has one more game left, but
it's a good season. But unfortunately, I know I just said it, but I think his quarterback held him back a lot. If he had a different guy to throw him the ball, man, like I'm telling you, he would. This would probably be the best season we've ever seen out of anyone in college football, and I say that with all seriousness. I know I'm laughing a little bit.
I got names. I got
that.
receipts to pull, so we're gonna go through some seasons. That's why I'm asking pose the question.
Because the thing is, how can we say, oh, he had the best season, and then they're in the Alamo Bowl, man? Like, I don't know. And you were in a conference that wasn't that hard to win. Like, it's just I don't know. And as I said, I feel bad for those
individual players. We're not talking about the team end
There's
game.
been Heisman winners before that didn't make it to big bowl games. Mike.
No, that's true. I know.
But that's what I'm saying. I want to stick to just the player, though. Of course, the team stuff.
We need to ad-lib that. Different. The fuck are we doing?
Well, just think about it. Oh wow, we saw the best season ever where he led his team to the Alamo Bowl. Like, I don't know. That just it has to go hand in hand a little bit, not completely, but there's just a little bit in it.
All right, I'm gonna ask you guys: did Travis have a better season than Melvin Gordon in 2014? And if you need me to remind you guys what he did, I can, but I have it pulled up. That's why I wanted to ask this question. So Melvin Gordon, 2014, he also was the Heisman that year. 2,587 rushing yards, 29 touchdowns, 153 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns.
I mean, statistic-wise, yes, the same thing we said about Gentry.
He's in the top 5 for all-time college running back seasons.
The same thing we said about Gentry, like we know. The same thing we said about Gentry, like we know that he's the better statistical player, but I'm not taking it away. I really wish Gentry got it. I'm really, really happy that Hunter got it. But yeah, I think he deserved it, but I really think a lot of it was just the media and the hype and stuff, man. But I think the best player, it should have went to Gentry. And I think Melvin Gordon, statistical-wise, had a better season that year than Travis Hunter. But I'm not knocking Travis Hunter for winning. I think it's well-deserved. He put in the work.
Yeah, I mean,
I
agree.
Melvin Gordon had a better season, or was it Travis this year?
Melvin Gordon, in my opinion. Yeah, it's a good season on Travis's part. But that's why I said it's solely based on him playing both sides. You know? So that's why the numbers don't look good, you know.
Yeah, for sure. For our young viewers, because a lot of them might not have seen what Melvin Gordon was capable of. This was 10 years ago now. What y'all think Ashawn Genty is doing?
Yo, hear me out. I get what
y'all about like 10. That's what the way Melvin was running that ball at Wisconsin that year was special. Like just as good, if not, well, it was better than Genty.
So hear me out. I get what y'all are saying, right? No cap. But I really feel like we haven't seen somebody play both sides of the ball in so long that we're just saying that so willy-nilly freely. Like, you understand how hard is it as a college player to be in prime shape to play both sides of the ball. All of these players, yes, Gentry, he's nice. He's the best. He only has to run the ball. He doesn't have to be the number one option when it comes to being a receiver and then play the number and be the number one DB. Do we not like that? Is really in
but
college.
He didn't really play every snap of the defense either. He played a lot. I agree.
Majority of them, but he was tired. But he played a lot.
There were some games where he only missed like 2-3 snaps the whole game.
I agree. But once we start to see trends of this happening, I mean, and somebody does it better than him, then what's the conversation?
What I'm telling you. It's not going to
I
happen.
think
So appreciate it. We're not seeing a
I
lot
think
of players
otherwise.
being allowed to play two talent. Okay, yes. Can players do it? Yes. But we're not seeing them get allowed to. We just got the first hand to see what it like. Stand
A lot of
out
players can't play
alone,
both sides of the ball.
huh?
I said a lot
A
of players
lot of
can't play both sides of the ball, let alone at the elite level he did.
like. Let's be for real here. And if you
But I still
put
think
him
there's been better
now,
split college
now,
seasons than this.
now let's say we take him as a player and put him in an actual collegiate, like not on Colorado, but one of your more better college football teams, and they do the same thing. How that looks, we wouldn't be talking about this. It wouldn't be a
Yeah, but
debate.
that's woulda, coulda, shoulda. I mean, that's not
But
what the
that's
case
still
is right
it's
now.
still proving my point. If you are, it's bro. You play
If he goes to
basketball. You
the
know how hard
SEC, if he
you
goes to the SEC, he's gonna get burnt out a lot more than in the Big 12.
He didn't go to Florida State because they wouldn't let him play both sides of the ball. He knew Dion Wood.
If he's
That's
on a
why he
team
went to
like
Jackson
Georgia,
State.
bro. So that you can't. But that's my whole point. He went with the coach that was allowing him to play both sides. So that alone is commendable because not a lot of people can do it. So let's take it for greatness, and because the person we're saying that, granted, is great with him, is a person that only is focused on running the ball, and we're talking about. And then what is the asterisk? His touches, right? Is that not what we were just talking about, right? The touches are a little excessive.
One more time.
What, with the running back debate?
Yeah. Yes, with Gentry.
Yeah, he's got over
I didn't have
300 carries.
no asterisks.
Not asterisk, but like not a lot of running backs are getting the touches he's getting. Still
But
great
that's because a lot of
numbers.
them can't do what he do either, though. Too to be
That's
fair.
very fair. That's very fair. True. But I just feel like we're just not really like for playing.
So, do you believe Travis's season is one of the greatest? Where would you rank his season? Is it the top 10 all time, or
I'm not saying
that's where it go back to the main question.
I would have to figure out the list of the 10.
So that's I'm giving off names. So we when we mentioned Melvin Gordon, you said something that was really that struck with me about Travis having to do more than just play one side of the ball, and like you said, Gentry only passed to run the ball. So I'm gonna give you another name who not only passed the ball at elite level, he also rushed elite level. And this is Johnny Manziel, 3,700 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, 400 rushing yards with 21 rushing touchdowns. Would you consider Johnny's season better than
hard to compare seasons because again, like Heisman is a quarter like college football alone is predicated around the quarterback position. So I would take Travis's impact on I would take Travis's season because to me him playing both sides of the ball was more impactful, but I'm leaning towards Johnny Manziel just because of how he was as his name in general through college football. He was out partying like celebrities. He brought eyes. He was one of the first players to really bring eyes to college football and do the things he did and have the stats he had and with the attitude and the what's the word, the swagger and the how he carried himself and things like that.
The aura.
The aura. Thank you. Perfect word. You really said it for me. Thank you. But I don't know.
So of course I'm gonna ask you this.
I can't compare.
Go ahead. I'll let you finish your point.
To me personally, I can't compare seasons to a man that was able to play both sides of the ball, and I was only focused on one predicated. Like that to me, that just weighs more to me personally.
So do you think Travis Hunter was a top 5 cornerback this year?
Give me the names. I think
he was the best corner this year.
He didn't even make finals for the Thorpe Awards. Not in everyone's eyes.
I just want to figure out what way. I just want to know what you guys will rank this season amongst the greats. That's all I want to know. I'm just throwing out names of players. Who would you have it higher or lower? So, like another name I'm gonna mention is Cam Newton. Would you rank Travis's season this year above Cam's?
Another player that did multiple things on the football field. He didn't play defense, but he ran the ball a ton.
But that's still focused like, bro, you're like, can we stop?
Bro, Travis Hunter played defense. Okay, yes, he guarded the most important players on the opposing team. What did he have? 3
He
picks
didn't get a break. He ran like, let's be for, like, do you not?
So we're giving appreciation because the man had extra stamina. I'm not taking anything away from Travis
because
Hunter.
he did something that like. What? Again, I personally cannot compare to I'm not comparing a player that literally is predicated on one side of the ball to a man that played both and excelled at both. How is that hard? If I could read and I could write and I excel at that better than like.
So he clearly to you has a top 10 season. That's what we're basically coming down to.
I wouldn't put his season.
That's what I'm trying to ask. Like, is it...
And Charles Woodson is up there too because he played both sides. He was the last person to do it. So, according to your judgment, because he played majority both sides of the ball, damn near 100% of the time.
Okay, but here's the difference: did he excel at both sides of the ball?
He wasn't the best
receiver. Wide receiver.
He wasn't the best receiver.
I can give you the stats right now. He did have 7 picks.
But he played DB very well. We're talking about a kid, a young man.
He actually did 3 things. He also was on special teams too.
He can stop. He can read your route and then run your route.
So real quick, Woodson also he played offense, defense, and he was on special teams. He ran for a punt return back. He had 283 punt return yards. He had 1 rushing touchdown, 2 receiving touchdowns for 231 receiving yards and 7 picks. And this was in 1997, so the style of play was much different. Just to put context to it.
One thing too.
So the only thing that he did better, well, let's say the only thing, because I didn't watch Charles Woodson in '97. But one of the things, statistically, the one thing he did better that year opposed to what Travis did this year, he had more picks. I think Travis had 2 or 3 picks this season. Woodson had 7. So that's probably statistically again. We got to go watch the tape, but to add more to your point, Clips, is Woodson did both sides of the ball. He actually played all 3 facets because, like I said, he was on special teams also too. But I just want to hear everyone's thoughts. Would you put Travis's season so far in the top 10 all time?
I'm not going to put his season top 10 all time because I'm going to be comparing him to skilled players who played solely one position. I'm just going to take his personal season this season as something great and that may not ever be seen again. That's all I'm saying to you. It's one of those.
Mike?
Ty? It's 2 different types of seasons in my opinion, because like for Melvin Gordon, I lean Melvin Gordon and it's not by a large gap, but I lean it. Johnny Manziel, I think Johnny Manziel had a better season than Hunter, and for Cam Newton, I believe Cam Newton did too, because with Cam Newton and Johnny Manziel, you look at Vince Young's performance in the Rose Bowl. You had multiple performances from those guys just like that, but I think when you compare Travis Hunter's season, you can't compare it with these other guys and say that top 10, because I forget the other guy that played both sides of the ball, but there's been 3 of them. No, there was another one along with the 2 of them, and it's those 3 guys. I'll have to look it up.
Right?
Woodson went to Michigan. There was another one who went to Georgia, I believe, and we know his name too. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. I think he played about 10 to 12 years ago. I'll look it up after this, but I think you got to compare those 3 guys' season and put them in their own tier apart from these top 10 ones. Because as I said, we got guys like Manziel, Newton, Vince Young. We got those guys.
There's so many I didn't mention.
Yeah.
I didn't mention Tim Tebow. I didn't mention Derek Thomas. I have I had the list here. I didn't even mention Reggie Bush, Randy Moss, Steve McNair.
Yeah.
Donovan Sue. So that's why I was just asking. I just want to hear where you guys will put him at. But I think you kind of lean towards what Clips was saying. Like you would just put Travis's season in its own category with those who did what similar to what he did, which is fair. I'm not even mad at that. Ty, what about you? And then we ended off with Peso.
Yeah, I agree to everyone's point. There's been so many great seasons from people in college that really impacted the game. But you have to give Travis Hunter his flowers for doing it for both sides. And that alone is in its own bracket itself. So I won't say it's a top 10 season. Maybe if the stats look better, then yeah, but there's you mentioned Manziel, 21 Russian touchdowns? That's ridiculous. So there's a lot of players that especially around that time that set the blueprint on the play style of the quarterback that helped these quarterbacks have ridiculous seasons. So I just can't put him in top 10.
Peso?
Yeah, I agree. I can't. I'm not going to put him in top 10 because of statistic measures when it comes to that. But I got to give him his flowers, just like everybody's saying. He did play both sides of the ball. I think he's in his own category with Charles Woodson because they're the only two to do it as far as what I know, what I could remember. And I mean, yeah, for me, looking back at it though, my favorite Heisman winner, if I had to choose, was Reggie Bush. So as of right now, like me growing up, he was like my favorite player to watch in college. USC was one of my favorite teams to watch. Probably was one of the first college teams I watched playing NCAA. What was it? 2004 he was on the cover. 2005, 6, something like that.
I think it was
Yeah.
5.
Yeah, 2005. So, but I do think Travis is in his own category. I don't think it's easy to sit here and compare him to like quarterbacks when they got thousands and thousands of yards with over 30, 40, 50 touchdowns seasons wise, career wise, and try to compare Travis to that when he's, his numbers just don't match. But I think for him to play both sides of the ball, he needs to be put in his own category.
Champ Bailey was the guy I was thinking of, by the way. Who I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're gonna move right on to these pick'em spreads, man. Then we're gonna wrap up the show. Man, Mike, actually, if you have it pulled up, we can get into that first about the updated points. But first and foremost, let's get into these picks.
So you want to start off with the points you said?
Yes.
All right. Let's see where I got the updated one. Because I got a few written down.
No rush, though.
No, I got it. Okay, so let me just make sure this is the first one. Okay, that's it. So you're in first with 362.
I'm about to pull it up. Not on the screen, but I'm gonna put it on my phone.
I got you. Just let me know when you're ready.
Are you good?
Yeah, so you're in first with 362.
362. Clips is in second, I'm assuming.
Yep, 361.
Jesus Christ. 362, 361. Gotcha.
I'm at 319.
You took third place?
I've been in third place. So I think me and Pace were neck and neck last week. If not, it was only a 1 point difference if we weren't tied up.
Let me see. 361. Perfect. Mike, you said 319?
Yep.
Perfect. What's next?
Peso at 317. That's with missing a week too. So there's an asterisk on my third place. To be honest, I shouldn't.
You would have been right where he's at with the week anyway.
Damn.
That's fine for you to believe.
That's why I put an asterisk on it, man. I'm not putting myself there.
Hey, you can put an asterisk on it. Look, I'm about to talk it to the phone. You can put an asterisk on it. That's all good.
I had a bye week and I'm still right there in the running.
Well, I'm sorry, brother. It's a gap. There's a gap between you got to catch
Yeah,
me and Clips.
don't fuck up.
Listen,
Don't fuck up this week.
right now, right. Listen, remember, I was giving away picks and still was in the front since you want chat. Remember when the Pats ain't gonna win that game? I got the Pats against the Bengals. What happened? Well, I don't want to hear that.
I picked the
Oh, yeah,
Browns
I'm
over
putting
the
up the
Ravens too. That didn't work out the other times I tried it though. So we both got them right every now and then. Doesn't mean they work out good for us.
I got it right with the Jets a few weeks ago. Remember? I think I was the one that picked the Jets one week.
The Jets had it one before last week. The Jets had it one since like September.
Nah.
Yeah, bro. Bro, there was
it was one of those teams. Anyway, what's
the Jets beat the Colts. You're right. I forgot about that.
What's size points?
287.
Sheesh.
I'm sorry, Ty. I wouldn't say.
God damn, Ty, what the hell?
Right now, Peso and Mike batting for
Y'all
bronze.
should
That's
have
what I like to see.
stayed in my picks. Y'all would have been rich by now.
I should have played most of my picks. I would have been good right now.
All
right. So what's the spreads for today?
Hold on, I gotta pull this card up on my phone too, because we picked the game that's going on right now, the Boca Raton Bowl. I don't know what the score is, to be honest with you. I don't think it's over yet. So
what game was that?
The Boca Raton Bowl.
I could look up the.
Yeah, I'm just curious if the game was over, because I could update the points too. But the first game we're picking is the Los Angeles Bowl. It's at SoFi Stadium. It's tonight. Cal versus UNLV. UNLV is -3. I have UNLV -3.
Real quick, it's tied. Western Kentucky and James Madison is tied at 14 apiece. Third quarter under 5 minutes. And I have UNLV.
I thought we already picked those games last week with James Madison.
Yeah, we did.
No, we did. He was saying that game's live for the points.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just giving an update on what's the score. I got UNLV straight up.
Okay.
Same.
Same, Mike.
All right. Clip says California +3. Too. So next game we got is the New Orleans Bowl, which is going to be played at the Caesars Superdome. Georgia Southern is -6, and Sam Houston is +6. I have Georgia Southern straight up.
Same, Mike.
I'm gonna take Georgia Southern straight up. I had to think about that.
Yeah, same.
You said the same, Musa? Georgia Southern straight up?
Georgia Southern straight up.
And Clip says Sam Houston +6. Next game we got is the Cure Bowl. It's at Camping World Stadium, which I believe is in Orlando, if I remember correctly. It's Ohio against Jacksonville State. Ohio is -3.5. I get Jacksonville State straight up.
Same.
Give me Jacksonville State with the points.
I think they beat Ohio.
I got Ohio straight up.
You said Ohio straight up, Ty?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Clip says Jackson State +3.5. Next game we got is the Gasparilla Bowl at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. It's Tulane versus Florida. Florida's -13. I have Florida straight up.
Same, Florida straight up.
Florida versus who again?
Tulane.
I slick want to go Tulane.
I low-key think this is one of these matchups where it was kind of unfair to Tulane. They didn't need to match them up with Florida.
I think Tulane had guys at the portal too. I don't know that offhand, but I believe they had.
I'll go Florida straight up, but my gut really want to go Tulane. But I'm gonna take Florida.
Yeah, I got Florida straight up.
I don't think this matchup isn't fair at all.
I got you. Yeah, Clips is also going with Florida straight up. Next game we got is college football playoff game. I believe it's on Friday. Indiana at Notre Dame. Notre Dame is -7.5. I got Notre Dame straight up.
Same, Mike.
Uh,
I got Notre Dame straight up.
I got Indiana with the points.
Clips has Indiana straight up. Next game we got is SM. It's also a college football game. SMU at Penn State. Penn State is -8.5. I have Penn State straight up.
I got Penn State with the points.
Penn State against SMU.
Yep.
I'm gonna take it SMU straight up.
Wow. The upset. Okay.
I'm going.
I was high on SMU, so that's the reason I'm taking them.
Who'd you take, Ty?
Penn State.
And Clip says Penn State straight up as well. Next game we got is another college football playoff game. First round, Clemson at Texas. Texas is -12. I have Texas straight up.
Texas straight up.
My bad. Who they playing again?
Texas and Clemson. Texas is -12.
-12. God damn.
Yeah.
Give me Texas straight up.
Give me Clemson
That spread is
with the spread.
Disrespectful.
It opened at 11, and they've been taking. I believe it opened at 11, and they've been taking money, but I don't know that for sure. Yeah, Clipsack is taking the upset. He got Clemson straight up. Next game we got is Tennessee at Ohio State. Ohio State is -7. I think Ryan Day, this will be the last game in Ohio State. Have fun, buddy. I got Tennessee straight up.
I'll take Tennessee with the points. I think it's going to be a close game, low-scoring game.
One more time.
Tennessee at Ohio State. Ohio State's -7.
I'm taking Ohio State straight up.
Yeah, Ohio State straight up for me.
Next game we got is the Myrtle Beach Bowl. It's Coastal Carolina against UTSA, and UTSA is -9.5. I'm going with Coastal Carolina just on a geographical location. I know this guy, the quarterback, is making his first start ever, but I'll just take it based on that.
Give me Coastal. What's the spread?
9.5.
Give me Coastal straight up.
They're getting 9.5, so you just want them straight up?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna take Coastal straight up as well.
I'm gonna take UTSA straight up.
And Clip says Coastal Carolina straight up as well. This will be the last college bowl game we'll be picking. I believe we'll be back on Monday to pick the rest of them because we're just doing it week by week. And last was the famous Idaho Potato Bowl games at Albertson Stadium, I believe. I don't know what that is offhand. It's Northern Illinois, which is NIU, against Fresno State. NIU is -3. I have Northern Illinois -3.
Give me Fresno State straight up.
I'm gonna go Fresno State. Straight up.
I'm gonna go Northern Illinois straight up.
All right, Clip says Fresno State +3. So now moving on to the NFL games. We're picking the Thursday night and the 2 Saturday games. We'll be back on Sunday for the rest of the NFL games this week. Okay, first game we got is Denver at the Chargers. Chargers are -2.5. I have Denver straight up. I really don't understand why the Chargers are favored.
Same. Broncos straight up for me.
Same.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Broncos straight up because last time I picked the damn Chargers, they sold.
I'm not convinced the Chargers are going to beat the Patriots, or I don't know what the Raiders QB situation is going to be. If O'Connell's back, I might even lean towards them. But Clip says the Chargers straight up. Moving on to the Saturday games. This line is flipped since I put it out there, and I just put it in case people say they're not on the show to put in the picks. So we're going with this line for it. It's Houston at Kansas City. Mahomes is slated to play as of right now. We don't know, but he has been a full participant in practice the past 2 days. So the way I got this line at currently before it flipped to, I believe, KC's -3 now. I got it Houston -1.5 at Kansas City. I got Kansas City straight up. I don't care if Carson Wentz is playing. I think they can beat this Houston team the way they are right now.
Where they playing at?
Kansas City, and I believe it's going to be 20-degree weather. I don't know that for sure, though.
Give me KC straight up.
I'm gonna go KC straight. I'm gonna go KC straight because I believe Chiefs Mahomes will play.
I agree.
So
I got Houston straight up.
Clip says Houston straight up as well. Last game we'll be picking an important NFC North matchup. We got the Steelers at the Ravens. The Ravens are -6. TJ Watt looks like he was a limited participant. He's probably going to play. George Pickens was not a participant, so I heard for that injury he might be out this game and the next one. I'm still going Steelers straight up. They know how to defend Lamar Jackson, and I think it'll be another low-scoring affair just like we saw last time out, and I think the Steelers lock up the division.
hasn't Lamar hasn't beaten Pittsburgh yet, right?
No, he beat him once. He beat him in the playoffs last year, too.
So it was the Browns then. He beat the Browns before.
He's definitely beat him.
I seen some stat that I guess he didn't beat the AFC North team yet or something like that. I don't know.
I think Pittsburgh he only beat once, if I remember correctly.
I think he's gonna beat him this time too. So I'm gonna go Baltimore straight up, especially with injuries for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Baltimore straight up for me.
I'll take Ravens with the points.
Clip says Baltimore straight up.
And that's a wrap. Thank you everyone for watching today's episode, man. It was a good one. I love the conversations we had. We got our final bowl picks before we get some good college football bowl games to come up. Of course, we got some going on live as of now. Tune in for us on Sunday, 12:15. We got another episode for you guys, and we're gonna do our next college football episode on Monday the following week, so before the Christmas holiday. So tune in for that again as well. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Have a great rest of your night. We see you guys on the flip side, man. Peace.
Rated 8.